Good morning. My name is Larry Wilcox, and this is my presentation for the Standard 1 Learning Development. And I'm going to walk you through who my students are and what they need developmentally and how I support them in algebra. Okay, I teach here at Whitbreak High School in Newark. I teach freshman Algebra 1 special needs students and Algebra 2 special needs students when juniors. The ages range from about 14 to 17. And what I see every day is that my students do best with structure, clear routines, visual, and step-by-step guidance. They often need a little extra processing time, and they respond very well to encouragement and consistency. So I personally like to encourage them as much as they need to build up their confidence. From a developmental standpoint, Jean Piaget, tells us that adolescents are just starting to handle abstract thinking. But many of my students still need a lot of concrete examples. And Lev Vygotsky, I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Ideal scaffolding is a big part of my teaching. I model first, then we practice together, and then we try it independently. Wycliffe has coined, paraphrased Vygotsky. I do, we do, you do. Okay? And we spend a lot of time on the we do. And Erickson, he reminds us that this age group is building confidence and identity, so we're creating a supportive environment is essential, right? You have to, let's say, be very supportive, and sometimes incentives. So here how my classroom shows up. I use visual, color coding, and manipulative. Now, color coding can mean like when you're showing step-by-step algebra, a linear equation, is that I try to change the color of the markers, right? So they see there's a change, and then the next set will be another color. The next line will be another color marker. If I start with blue, and then you always put something in red, just to give some kind of visual stimulation that something is changing or something just happened. One of the operations is being used. I break lessons down to the small steps, right? I personally believe in simplicity, right? As simple as you can possibly make it. Okay, sometimes it might get a little boring for some people, a little slightly ahead, but for most of the time, it tends to work out very well. Okay, and I build in movement and frequent check-ins to keep students engaged and emotionally supported. And you do that by walking around the classroom. Walking around the classroom, sometimes you even sit next to a student because a lot of times students are very shy or not confident in asking a question. So sometimes you sit next to them, okay, what's going on? You got this, you got that. And they tend to respond very well. And then when they do well, according to Pavlov and a few other psychiatrists, sometimes a little simple reward is put out there. And I don't know, nobody doesn't like chocolate. Not too often, but every once in a while, this works. Because everybody likes chocolate. Okay? For example, another thing is, for example, when we work on integration, I start with a balanced scale, activities so students can see what's happening before we move to the abstract. So you want to get them confident, right, with the balanced scale. And then algebra 2, when we're working with quadratic, students graph parabolas using Desmos. And I didn't have Desmos when I was in school, but I think the Desmos, just being up there and just doing like games, works in the real world scenario, it works pretty good. And that's a big aid. and I guide them step by step before asking them to work independently. You know, you get them in groups, and everybody wants to outdo everybody else because one group want that chocolate. That works for me. Okay, a free reef. It's getting noisy. Kids are coming in, so I'm doing this while we're doing testing. A few resources that help me understand and learning development include the CDC Adolescent Development Guidelines, the Etopia, and the ASCD Special Education Resources. They give me practices, strategies, and keep me grounded in the research. However, my biggest asset is I collaborate with my co-workers, colleagues, especially for my juniors, and being that I'm pretty new, and some of these teachers have been here for years, and they know my juniors way better than I do. And collaborating with them helps me out quite a bit. Something that you won't get from a book. Okay, you get a lot, and the people here at Wick High School are very helpful. The staff is very helpful, and all you gotta do is ask, and I get this time, I got this time. Big help. Overall, this project here has helped me reflect on how important it is to match my instruction to where my students are developmental. In other words, meet them where they are, not just academically, but sometimes a little emotionally. When I do that, my students are more confident, more engaged, and more successful in algebra. Okay, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Sometimes I feel like I ran through this here, but it is what it is in a nutshell. If you show the students that you genuinely care and you're genuinely there for them, they 99% of the time will respond positively or put some effort into doing the work. And a little progress, some people might look at it and say, well, that's so small, but a little progress is very large. And you let them know that. And then it's like, you give them more, you give them a incentive to do a little, then they come back and want to do more. All right? So, and to me, every step in a positive direction is success. Okay? So, thank you, and I'm still enjoying this program very much. Everybody have a nice day.